welcome back to Love Life Support.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Well, today is the day after Valentine's Day, but this is the day where we're celebrating Valentine's Day. So it's Valentine's Day to us.
I got you really nice flowers right off camera.
Yes, flowers, and there's a lot of desserts.
A lot of desserts.
But today we are doing family drama. You'd think we'd do relationship drama, but we already did that. So
Let me tell you about family drama. There's a lot I can tell you about family drama.
Yep. So we are doing that. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Absolutely ready.
Am I the asshole for dropping off my stepkids with my in-laws and saying that they are not my problem anymore? My wife passed away just before last Thanksgiving. It came out of nowhere and I am somewhat broken. To make it worse, my stepkids have decided that since I'm not their father, they don't have to obey me anymore. They are teens and they have never been my biggest fans. They love their dad and I was only ever their mom's husband. However, when Dina was alive, they treated our home well and me with respect. After she died, they became assholes. Yes, I know their mom died. It sucks. But that was my wife and the mother of my children. I am also having a tough time dealing. Their paternal grandparents are also shitting on me for not being more understanding of all they are going through. I have tried, I have offered them counseling, I have given them space. I have been there for them. I am at my wit's end. The last straw was when we were over there for supper last week. I said it was time to go so I could get the littles to bed. My stepkids said that they didn't want to go and that I should leave them and come back for them. It is a 2-hour drive. I said no. Their grandparents said I was being too hard on them and that I should let them stay. I am having a hard time with 2 small children, the loss of my wife, and 2 teen assholes without having my in-laws pile on to make my life more difficult. So I did. I also packed up their stuff. Instead of coming back for them, I dropped off their stuff at their grandparents' house. I have 2 kids under 5 to take care of. I don't really have time to baby 2 teens that are just making my life harder. My house is clean for the first time in weeks. My kids are sleeping through the night. My stepkids are living with their uncle in the same city as me so they can finish high school with their friends. Everyone on their dad's side is against me. I really don't care. I was told by both of them and by their father that I am not to try and parent them. So I'm not. I actually do not have any parental rights over them. Their dad was not even okay with me being a contact for them at school, so his parents spared the contact. My wife left behind a small life insurance policy, which I will divide between the 4 kids, but I was the breadwinner in my house. I bought pretty much everything there for the last 8 years, so now it's all mine. My in-laws are calling me an asshole for abandoning the kids, but I have 2 kids that need me more. The older 2 have a dad as well as grandparents to help them. My kids do too, I guess, but they also have me, and I want them to have a peaceful home.
Yeah, so what do you think, Patty?
What do you think?
I feel like I'm gonna say not the asshole. Yeah,
Really?
because they don't like you.
Hmm.
They don't want you to parent them. The father doesn't want you to parent them.
Yeah. That's
Eh,
kind of crazy to
yeah,
say. Like, you're the parent. Like, why doesn't the dad just take them in? Like, what?
right?
Like, if they're gonna say, the kids and the other father say, don't try to parent them, then who's gonna parent them? Like, they have to be told they can't do things. Like, what? So he's not allowed to tell them what to do, but they can just live in his house and he can buy them all the things. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, they're still too young to be on their own, so they need to be told what to do.
Like, they're teens, but yeah, and then they have another dad. It's like, honestly, I don't think he's the asshole. Like, since they're like perfectly fine and stuff, and like they kind of hate you. I guess if they like didn't hate you, then you would definitely be the asshole. But they hate you The other father is like, don't even try to be a father, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, honestly, isn't this best for everyone? Like, why are the in-laws like crying so hard?
Oh, because they don't understand the situation, probably.
Yeah, I don't think they do. If he, if they did not, or if they did like him, and they treated him like he was their father, and then he did this, that'd be insane.
I definitely agree.
But they want this, so it's like you're not really an asshole, and then your other kids like weren't sleeping through the night when the other kids were there. Like that's kind of crazy. So like,
Right.
if they are like that horrible, like why are they such pieces of shit?
I know. I don't blame him.
So honestly, yeah, he's not the asshole.
So what did comments say?
Someone said info. If the teens don't have you as an emergency contact because of their father, why did they not go to live with their father immediately or nearly immediately after your wife's death? I am very sorry for your loss also and feel bad for everyone here to be certain. OP replied, their father works at a FIFO camp. He has no permanent home. Oh yeah, so when I read this before, I looked that up and it was fly in, fly out camp. So like he doesn't live anywhere basically. So
Too bad.
I mean, you would think that he would have to like, be a parent then and just have to give up his job, to like be there for his kids. But he never was, so he doesn't feel like it, I'm sure. But like, I guess they have a good situation with the uncle because, and honestly, that makes sense. Like, for them to be able to finish high school in the high school they like already were going to. And if that works out, then that works out. But like after that, like, dude, what are you doing? And then also, I mean, after that, they're not gonna be like adults, but so they can figure out their own lives, I guess. But the dad still sucks.
Yeah, the dad is like doesn't understand the responsibility of being a parent. I've had so many people in my life who will say to me, "Just have kids, just get pregnant, just do it. God will take care of the rest." And in the same breath, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, these kids are so annoying. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. Oh my gosh, I can't afford these kids." It's like you need to understand what you're getting into. People ask me why I don't have kids yet. I understand what I'm getting into.
Yeah, literally. Like, definitely not in that financial position.
Yeah, I want it, but I can't.
Yeah. But it's also like he he might have had that job when they had kids, but he always expected, oh, well, I'm married to my wife, and then oh, they got divorced. So he's like, oh, well, perfect. She can just, have custody over them. And then she died, and he's like, okay, yeah, but you can't parent them. Their stepdad, you can't parent them.
Yeah, because he didn't know you were gonna call his bluff.
And then, oh, okay, well, you can stay with uncle. Like, this
Yeah.
guy is like, sucks.
Yeah. OP, not the asshole. The bio dad, yes.
Someone said, not the asshole. They said, don't parent, and we will also talk to the school, but want you to actually pay for and raise them. So he needs a different job. Sounds like something he needs to sort out with his family. You are just doing as directed, not parenting them. Their actual father needs to be their father.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone said fly in, fly out. Usually mining camps in isolated areas. It's generally a 2-week on, 1 week off scenario with pretty good money. Someone said, not the asshole. As long as everyone is happy, including all kids and yourself, I wouldn't fret about anything, as I cannot see what you have done wrong here. You haven't left them on the streets. You have left them with the family, and they are happy. If Daddy is so worried, he can step in, can't he?
Yeah, I was more torn on this one as I was reading it, and then by the end, I was solidly not the asshole.
Yeah, pretty much everyone was saying not the asshole. So, seems like everybody kind of agrees with that. Okay, our child decided to join the podcast episode today.
Begging.
But yeah, let's go to the next story.
I'm ready for this story. Oh my gosh.
Am I the asshole for calling my sister a fat bitch after she insulted my son? I, 44 male, have a 19-year-old son, who I will refer to as Max. Max has always been slightly overweight, not fat, but not skinny, either weighing around 250 pounds at 6'4". He was incredibly active in high school, playing football as well as wrestling for his school. He has always been a little embarrassed by his extra chub, but has been slowly growing more and more confident as he has gotten older, which has been incredibly encouraging to watch. My 39 female sister, who I will call Beth, and I have never had a strong relationship. During her childhood, she was often given special treatment due to minor health conditions she had, which led to her constantly tormenting me until I was finally able to move out at 18. After I moved, I went in limited contact with all of my family. However, when I began to have children, my wife encouraged me to try to be more involved with family for the sake of my kids. My children became very close with my nieces and nephews over the years, so I continued to keep the peace for the sake of my kids. All of this leads to today, my niece's 22nd birthday. Of course, my family attended the party, which was held at Beth's house. In the beginning, everything was going fine. The kids were spending time with their cousins while my wife and I were enjoying the party as well. Max was sitting on the couch in the living room playing a game on his cousin's Xbox, along with his younger cousin, when Beth decided to provide the unwanted comment of, "You know, Max, if you spent a little less time on those video games, you could probably drop a few pounds. Maybe find yourself a girlfriend." The party fell quiet as Max sat there embarrassed by Beth's comments. I responded to Beth by saying, "Don't be ridiculous. This is a party. We're all sitting around eating and drinking, having a good time. Why are you trying to embarrass him?" To which she replied, "I wasn't trying to embarrass him. I was just trying to offer him some advice. It's not my fault he's so sensitive." After I heard that, I snapped back at Beth, saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are to be giving my son advice about his weight? Max goes for a run every morning and works as a carpenter. When was the last time you climbed a flight of stairs?" Beth, looking offended, snarled, "Good Lord, I was just trying to help him out, and you insult me like that. You always did have an anger issue. I feel bad for your wife." After that, I snapped. I yelled back, "You're just a fat bitch who tried to embarrass my son in front of all of our family just so you could get some attention. Then you have the balls to try and insult me? Go fuck yourself, you stupid bitch." After that, my wife and kids and I all left. Since then, my phone has been bombarded with texts and calls from family members telling me to apologize. I spoke to my wife about it, and while she agrees Beth was out of line for saying what she said, I took it too far and need to apologize to Beth and my niece for causing a scene on her birthday. So, am I the asshole?
I really want to say no. Because, fuck it. No, you're not the asshole. I've done it too.
So, are you the asshole for calling your sister a fat bitch after she insulted your son? No. Are you an asshole for causing a fucking scene on your niece's birthday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the asshole for bringing more attention to her comment of what she said about your son and making it known to literally everybody? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what makes you the asshole. You took what she said, which was said around a certain amount of people, and you made it known to everybody.
That's true. I was just so focused.
That would be so embarrassing. If I was him, I would be like, half like, haha, like that's crazy, you just said that, and half like, you literally just embarrassed me. It would totally depend on my age. Like, if that happened, it depends also, like, who was around.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like if it happened more now, like, I would be a little, like, thank you for standing up for me. But if I was, like, 16 or something and that happened, I would be crying. Like, I would be so embarrassed.
Because you had to live with the people. I was just so focused on what he said. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. On the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I feel like not the asshole.
I think
you have to be a little more cool about it. Like, just say it to Beth.
Yeah, like, he could have pulled her aside But, like, she was being a brat. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, you always had an anger issue. I feel bad for your wife. Like, dude, you, like, what is wrong with you? Why can't you just shut the fuck up?
I have a couple of family members who just sound exactly like Beth.
Yeah, that reminded me of some of your family
Yeah,
members.
so,
So, when I was reading that the first time.
yeah. Like, I don't, like, really hold a lot of, like, angry thoughts in my heart against my family. But, like, I feel like they do.
Yeah.
And, like, you say one thing that you're, like, takes a lot of effort to say and actually bravery to say it, and then they respond with something that, like, feels like they just always are hateful. And it's like, I understand. It's like,
Yeah.
what does the anger in the wife have to do with any of this stuff? What is anything to do with any of this stuff? Like, you should just pull Beth aside.
Like, yeah, like saying that Beth was stupid in what she said, but you took it too far and you need to apologize to her. No, you don't need to apologize to her. She can apologize to you. She's the one who started it. But
Yeah,
your niece,
exactly.
yeah, you should apologize to
Yeah,
your
in
niece.
in a vacuum where it's just you and Beth, you're not the asshole, but you gotta, yeah,
He should not have to be the one to go out and apologize.
yeah. Maybe Beth can apologize to everybody for starting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want to say not the asshole and just
It sounds like she's
send
not
it.
used to being called out, and you finally decided to call her out when she usually gets away with all the shit that she'll snarky comments she'll say to people or about people,
That's what I'm
and then
saying.
you finally call her out and you're like, I'm done
Hmm.
with this. This is stupid.
And you're the
Don't.
villain.
And then you're the villain. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
So, someone said, not the asshole. Apologize to Denise, but not your sister. She doesn't deserve one.
Exactly.
Someone said, everyone sucks here. If I were Max, I would be embarrassed by the scene you both caused.
Everyone sucks here. Yeah.
So, it seemed like that was kind of the dealio. Like, either it was
Yeah.
not the asshole or everyone sucks here.
I always forget that's an option.
I don't I think he sucks in certain ways, but he doesn't suck in the way that he was asking the question, which was,
No.
like, should I have even said it to her at all?
Yeah.
Like, I think she deserved it.
Yeah. In the context of the question, like, no, you're not the asshole. But, like, we need to have a little bit of self-awareness in surroundings.
Also, if he was getting like real loud and like a kind of like I don't know what his tone was like, but if it was coming across aggressive like she's claiming, like the sister is kind of like, oh, you have anger issues. If it was coming off very aggressive and like depending on how you look, like that could have been like a little bit scary for the people around, but we obviously don't know that context, so
Yeah, I'm sick of family members, and this is what Beth just did, is saying something escalating, and then when you respond, escalated, they say, "Why are you escalating the situation?"
yeah.
Good Lord, I was just trying to give advice.
It's like, also, can we just say 250 pounds at what he was
He's
6'1"?
6'4".
6'4"?
He's 6'4", Patty.
Like,
He's a giant.
probably, like, it probably isn't that bad.
He's super thin and tall,
Like, he's probably, like, average,
and he's
like,
probably really
for
muscular
his height.
too.
Yeah, because he was doing football. I was just thinking, like, he's probably, like, very more, like, muscle. Like, he might be, like, I can kind of picture probably how he looks. And he probably doesn't look that bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's less weight than me, and he's way taller than me. So he's probably be like really muscular and tall. So I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like not the asshole, and everyone sucks here.
I think it's good to, like, stand up for him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that you've, like, dealt with this when you were probably young, and then you were just like, I'm over it, kind of thing. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think we need to go to the next one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for telling my fiance's mom she can't come to our wedding? I, 20 female, have never really gotten along with my fiance's 21 male mom. I'll call her Fiona. She's always been very cutting and passive aggressive with me, and I always feel very awkward in her presence. However, she has a pattern of ruining people's special days. My fiance and I attended one of his cousin's weddings last summer, and Fiona was there. She got so drunk at the party to the point where she was throwing up, passing out, starting arguments with people, and she even spilt red wine over one of the bridesmaids. A few months before that, it was my mom's birthday, and she invited my fiance and Fiona, as well as a few more of our family members. We went to a pretty nice restaurant, and the whole time, Fiona made a scene about how gross the food was. Her drinks weren't made correctly, her feet hurt in her shoes. It got to the point where the manager actually had to ask her to leave, and it just ruined the whole night. Myself and my fiance have been saving up for our wedding before we were even engaged. We have everything planned out, and this wedding is going to be pretty expensive. And I will not have someone ruining the day that's supposed to be the best day of my life. I don't want any part of her childish drama. My fiance agrees with my decision. However, when I told Fiona this, she started shouting and crying, saying that she has the right to see her baby get married. Am I the asshole? Should I just let her come to the wedding and run the risk of her ruining the day? I don't know what to do here. So what do you think?
Dude, what do you think I'm going to think? Fucking don't invite her. She sounds like a bitch. She's throwing up and passing out, starting arguments, spilling red wine, and then you actually get kicked out of the restaurant? Who gets kicked out of a restaurant?
And that's like just the aunt of, like, she's the aunt of that wedding, like the cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
So, like, it's going to be her own son. Like, she's probably going to be even more sicko bitch. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't, I'm sorry I don't have any sympathy for people who ruin things.
Yeah. I feel like when I first read it, I'm like, yeah, you're not the asshole. But I'm reading it now, I'm like, it is her son.
She shouldn't be a bitch then.
I don't know, because, like, even if you talk to her and you're like, can you not, like, you're not allowed to drink or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to see her drinking. You're going to see her go to the bar and be like, oh, it's all, you know, all stupid. And she's probably going to get drunk and ruin the day.
Guess what?
Somehow.
It's your special day. I am firmly in the not the asshole camp.
I think she's not the asshole, but I kind of wish she had, like, a conversation with her first, rather than just being like, you're not invited. And then, I don't know.
What would you do?
Like, I feel like I would have a conversation first.
And then what if she
I
said?
would have my fiance have a conversation first.
What
with
if
his
she
mom.
said, "Oh, I promise I won't drink. I promise
Depends
I
on
won't
how
cause a scene."
sincere it sounds.
Are you gonna trust
And
her?
I would tell the bartender, and I would give him a picture and say, don't serve this lady.
It sounds like when they're at the restaurant and they get kicked out. Yeah, it sounds like she wasn't drinking that much anyway. Dude.
At the restaurant, her drinks weren't made correctly. Her food was not good. It was more like she was just mostly complaining.
Yeah.
Which is like, then don't sit at the same table as her.
So don't invite her.
Or just invite her to the ceremony, the reception. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to, like, not invite a whole, like, mother.
If I had a mom like this, I might feel different, but I don't. So I don't have any sympathy to the mom.
Like, I don't know. But someone said, not the asshole. But it was not your place to tell it. Your fiance should have done that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's go with that. Yeah. Not the asshole, but.
Someone said, not the asshole. She doesn't have the right to ruin her daughter's wedding and make herself the focus of you and her daughter's big day by making a scene. And if her own daughter agrees that she can't come, that should be a reality check for her. Son,
Yeah.
not daughter.
Oh,
I was going to say, I was like, huh?
Huh?
I was like, did I read it wrong?
Still applies. Definitely. A reality check would be good for her.
Someone said, first, she sounds like a nightmare. Cut her out of your life. Second, you're 20. Maybe live together for a while before getting married. Mother-in-law may have some pretty deep claws in your fiance.
Yeah.
And do you really want to deal with that for the rest of your life? Not the asshole. OP said, we have lived together for the past 2 years.
I feel like people on Reddit just immediately do the Reddit things.
Yeah.
Enmeshed.
Someone said, I don't know what this was replying to, but someone said, I understand. I think it was about her being too young. Someone said, OP said, I understand that, but respectfully, it's not really anyone's business when/why we choose to get married. We are both adults and capable of making informed decisions. I have been working full-time jobs and living on my own since I was 16, a decision I made myself because I wanted to be independent. I am a lot more mature and aware of the real world than most 20-year-olds. The post in question is about not inviting my fiance's mom to her wedding. There is no question that the wedding is going to happen regardless. I really wish people would keep to themselves about their opinions on when other couples that they don't even know should get married. Again, I say this in the most respectful way possible. It's not just you who has said this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, obviously, I was like, I mean, whatever. But I thought, I was like, if you're not going to invite his mom, maybe you should just elope. You know? It's just like, what if the other people there are like, oh, you didn't invite the mom?
Yeah.
And then they start acting
I
crazy
know.
because of it. Like, that's where my thought goes.
She'll still find a way to ruin it.
Yeah, like, they'll start spilling wine everywhere.
Yeah. Like,
Getting so drunk and all this other shit. Like, I don't know. I would either just not have alcohol at the wedding, say that she's not allowed to have alcohol at the wedding, and to not sit at the same table as her, so you don't hear her being annoying. And then, and she has to do all those things, you know, not drink and not sit with you guys. Or just don't invite her, because if she can't handle it, then obviously don't invite her. But I would have a conversation first.
yeah. Do you think the not inviting her was a bluff, or do you think it's fully real? Get her to start promising things.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I think that she's just like, I don't want her there at all. And it's like, obviously, I guess you don't have a good relationship with her. If your fiance does not have a good relationship with her and he, like, barely even talks to her, then, like, maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But, like, I just think that is a pretty big deal to not invite a parent for something that's, like, obvious. Like, I understand. I don't want people ruining things either.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously, I feel that way. But it is, like, a big moment, you know? So it's like, if she could change her behavior, like, this is a behavior that needs to change in her life anyways. She might as well do it in preparation for her son's wedding, basically.
I mean, that's like the best case, most positive scenario you're talking about.
Like, she sounds like an alcoholic or something. Like, she sounds crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So it needs to change anyways. But I think we should just go to the next one. Am I the asshole for reducing my parents' allowance by whatever amount they share with my siblings? My parents live in a less developed country than I do. My siblings and I all live in North America or Europe. When I got my new job, I did my budget and saw that I could send home roughly $1,300 a month without it affecting my personal comfort. I would still be able to save for my future, and my mom and dad could retire. So when I was home, I set up a joint account for us. That way I could see if they needed more and make sure that they were not getting scammed or anything. After about a year and a half, I started noticing that there was a $200 transfer every month. I asked them about it, and they said my brother was having difficulties with his budget, so they were helping him out. My brother doesn't need help. He is a scholarship student. He actually receives a stipend from my home government to study abroad. What he wants is money to party. So I reduced the amount I give them by $200. Obviously, they do not need it if they can afford to give it away every month. My mom called me when she noticed and was yelling at me for being a crappy daughter and sister. I asked her to tell me exactly how much money they contributed to my party fund when I was away for school. Just so you know, the answer is $0. They also tried to talk me out of attending university in Canada. I'm not sure how common the idea of filial piety is in other cultures, but it's a big deal in mine. She went off about it. I told her that they didn't need the money, and I had better ways to spend $200 than to gift it to my brother so he could get drunk with his friends more. She said that I am treating them like children by restricting how they spend their money. I replied that I was not going to subsidize my brother through them, and that from now on the amount they got from me would be $1,100, and that if they sent him money again, I would know and reduce their money by that amount going forward. My brother called to bitch me out about cutting off his money from our parents. I said that I hadn't. He was welcome to tell our parents to go back to back-breaking jobs at their age to pay for his partying in London. Then they would have my money to live off of and their wages to pay for his drinking. My boyfriend is on my side, as are many of my friends. Most of my family and people from my culture think I am being an asshole. However, for the last 2 months, my parents have only been spending on themselves.
I really want to know what culture this is. Well, I've known a lot of people like this who just send money back to their families, and I don't agree with that.
Like, it's really kind for this girl to do it so that her parents can retire, right? Like, they would not be able to retire without her. But if they're willing to be like, yeah, $200 a month or whatever it was, $200 out of that amount, yeah, give it to our son. It's like, that's just stupid. You should not be giving away other people's money. Like, I feel like if somebody's giving you money, like, you have the duty to do what's right by it. Like, if somebody's giving you money and you went and gambled, like, you're a piece of shit. If you
Yeah.
took somebody's money so that you can retire and you're using it to give it to somebody else that doesn't need it, you're the asshole. Like, you should be doing right by somebody else's money. Like, sure, it's your money now, and as soon as you give it away, it's not yours anymore. But then that's exactly why they're reducing it, because they don't want $200 to be going to their brother when he does not need it. And she's like, I can do so much more with that. I could be saving
Right.
more money. I could be doing a lot with that extra little bit of money.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, the brother should be sending their parents money, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
she's definitely not the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole. Yeah.
Like, no.
I would say like, oh well, you obviously don't appreciate the money I'm sending you, so you're not gonna get any more money. Like that's what I would do.
I like the reducing it because then it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, because she's not the asshole then.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
Like, her family cannot say that she's an asshole because she's still giving them money.
Everything
She's
they need.
still helping them out.
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of crazy that the parents can't see through the brothers' like lies.
yeah. Everyone is pretty much saying not the asshole. Someone asked, I guess, where she was in the sibling lineup. And she said, I'm not the oldest. I have 2 older sisters. They are both married and popping out kids, whom I love. So basically saying she's probably the only one that can give the money.
Probably middle child.
She also said, my dad is 67 and my mom is 58. My brother is 18.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, technically her mom could still be working. Like,
Yeah.
58 is not that old.
Yeah.
Like, should we be able to retire at 50-something? Sure.
Yeah.
But she didn't set herself up to be retired at that time. So,
Right.
OP also said, my parents arranged them to get married. Not really an arrangement, more like lots of pressure. My parents used up their savings for IVF to get a son when my mom was like 40. I have a degree from a great school and I think a fantastic future. So, she basically she used all their money to get the son that they're probably giving the money to.
The son's just a black hole of money.
And like, oh yeah, you had $3, and at 40 you're like, no, I need a son.
Yeah. I already don't respect the parents because it's pretty clear they're like, we need a son.
Like, that makes sense why they're giving him everything.
How are you gonna carry on the family name? And it's like, honestly, if the family name is dirt poor, then what?
Also, if you like maybe treat your daughters better, then they would want to keep their name and carry it on that way.
Right? I feel like this is not in their comprehension.
I think definitely not the asshole, and I
Yeah.
feel like we can go to the next one. Am I the asshole for not going to my brother's wedding after my family ruined my relationship? Hey everyone, me, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 25 male, have been together for 2 years now. We are both still in university getting our masters for different areas of medicine. We met on campus. He is tall, good looking, thoughtful, smart, and hardworking. I think most people would even say he's out of my league. He has never made any bad comments about me or my family, and has even learned Russian to speak with them in their native language. Despite his efforts, my parents and brother are still being absolute a-holes to him for no reason. They ignore him, talk behind his back, never invite him for anything, show no interest in learning anything about him or his family, and just completely reject him in every way. My brother, 27 male, is the worst in all of this, even though he himself doesn't have nearly the same level of academic achievements or physical appeal. My boyfriend said that the feeling of not being accepted and having to walk on eggshells around my family and the tension this creates between us has made him reconsider our relationship. Last week, my brother got married, and of course, my boyfriend wasn't invited. So I decided to not go as long as he wasn't invited. They decided to not invite him, so I didn't go, and now they are furious at me for doing so. Am I the asshole for not going? Edit. I saw some people asking for reasons why my parents might feel resentful towards my boyfriend. I think my parents see it as more of a cultural problem. I'm originally Eastern European and he's from Western Europe. So we are both white. They would rather just see me with someone from the exact same background. Political and religious assumptions also might play a role. So what do you think?
It's just like this guy is being treated very, very unfairly, and yeah, it's definitely unfair on the guy. But like, should you not have gone to the wedding? It's like,
I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's kind of crazy again to miss a wedding, for something like this. But if it was like you went and then he's like, yep, not invited to another family thing, and then like I could see her being like, this is making him almost even reconsider it more if I went without him. But I'm assuming he wouldn't judge you for that. I don't know. And then also, like, what if he breaks up with you anyways, and then you missed a wedding for a guy that
yeah.
broke up with you because of your family? Like, I don't know.
I feel like what we always say on this couch is just communicate. Like, you should have said, hey, the fact that you're not inviting my boyfriend, he feels closer to me than you guys do. I want him there, and if he's not there, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Did that ever get said?
Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't know if it was said.
Does does the brother know that this is like really important to you, and do you just not go?
Like, I feel like I would just scream at them.
And I also want to say though that like the family is not obligated to like the boyfriend. Like, let's be clear about that. But
But the reason why they're not liking him
yeah, it's
is
really rude.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Someone said not the asshole. Your family seems pretty toxic.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they said, sorry to hear that about that he's reconsidering it. And this person said, it may be time to go no contact or at least low contact with their family. It's likely to happen again if this doesn't work out and you go out with someone else they don't like.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna immediately jump in the not the asshole pool. I'm gonna dip my toe in there, but I feel like you need to have talked about it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying not the asshole. Someone was asking for info, and it was just her edit, like the same thing about it
Okay.
being like a racial thing, even though they're the same race.
Yeah.
Um,
Different cultures though. Right?
yeah. Someone said, not the asshole. In fact, good on you. Don't let your family ruin a good relationship with what sounds like a lovely man. It's
Yeah.
very interesting because I feel like a lot of people are like, obviously like friends or boyfriends come and go, but family's always there. And there's people who are like, you're going to let a guy ruin your relationship with your family. But then it's like, but then there's these other pocket of people where it's like the complete opposite. And definitely feel like I am more of a like relationship girly on that, aspect. Um, but if he's reconsidering a relationship because of them, like what's it gonna take? Like, is he okay with the fact of not having in-laws at all, with
Mm-hmm.
going no contact,
Mm-hmm.
and for you know you to not be able to be with your family? Like, yeah, sure, you're doing it for him, but and you're fine with that, but like, is he still gonna be like, well, no, I don't even have in-laws, like kind of like what is he upset
What
about?
does he want? Yeah.
Like he might still just leave you anyways because he's like, I
It,
want a family that likes me, which I understand, but it's like either you love somebody enough
yeah.
or you don't. So,
I kind of feel like I definitely understand where this guy's coming from. Where it's like, you love the girl, but the family is rough.
mhm,
But I never said to you, I'm definitely reconsidering this relationship. I said it's hard.
yeah,
I never said this might be a deal breaker.
yeah. I feel like I don't know how I feel about it because he's already like 1 foot out the door.
That's the
So it's
thing.
like
Yeah.
you're gonna miss your brother's wedding when for a guy that you are in love with, but he's 1 foot out the door.
He's one
Like,
foot out the door. Yeah.
I don't know. I
You.
don't know. Like, it's
Yeah.
weird. I think maybe it's everyone sucks here. The boyfriend sucks, the OP sucks, the brother and the family all suck. Like, they all suck.
I feel like this is like the boyfriend's probably German and they're Russian and it's like all that
Yeah,
old
that's what
old history,
I was probably thinking. It's
old
like,
drama.
well, Eastern and Western Europe. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess everyone
Um,
sucks here. I mean,
yeah, I feel like it's everyone sucks here.
I would have said not the asshole if it was like you talk to your brother and your brother's like, no, I'm going to not invite them to my wedding, and you were
Well,
like, why you not invite them?
Russian, and he even learned it too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this guy is putting in a lot of effort. So either your family needs to like grow the fuck up, or like you're gonna go no contact
Hmm.
because at least for a little while.
Yeah. I also feel like the boyfriend should definitely put a little more commitment down, like maybe a ring. Not doesn't have to be, but maybe.
I don't know. At least don't say you're reconsidering it.
Yeah, that's like okay. Well, you're reconsidering me. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's me. It's not my family. The whole thing. Oh, you're marrying the family. I never believed that because she says that you have to leave your family and go find a wife or find a husband. So I think it's more about that. But everyone sucks here.
all right. Let's get to the next one.
Cool.
Am I the asshole for telling my family they don't get a say on my child's name, and I do not want my child's name to blend in with theirs? My husband and I, both 25, are expecting a baby together. I'm having some trouble with my family over the name. Background: I don't share the same name as my siblings. My parents had me, and my mom chose my name. It's not your typical name, it's a nature name, but she also had, and isn't one of the common types like Lily or Rose, for example. My parents bickered over my name according to dad, and mom ended up choosing my first name while dad chose my middle name. My parents' marriage wasn't great, and by the time my mom died, when I was 5, dad had met my stepmom, Jane. For a while after my dad and Jane moved in together, they asked me if I would like to go by my middle name, Claire, instead of my first name, Acacia. I didn't want to use my middle name, and dad was a little upset, but they let it drop. My dad and Jane were more compatible with their naming preferences, and my siblings' names are more expected: Elizabeth, James, Hannah, Michael, etc. My name did get comments, and I would proudly tell people my mom named me. It wasn't easy for Jane to hear, and my family didn't love it. I love my family, but I was always proud of being named by my mom and never cared that I stood out. I never wanted to be more like them or blend in with them better. It was a connection to my mom that made me proud. When I was younger, I used to talk about carrying on with nature themed and more uncommon names when I had kids. Based off that, my family questioned when we told them that I'm pregnant and if we plan to do just that. We do, but we did not tell them. We told them that we would be discussing names and would announce after a baby was born. My family made suggestions. Jane made suggestions that she thought were darling and would blend in so beautifully with the family.
I already hate this.
I told them we didn't need the names and asked them to please stop suggesting them. Talk of the baby shower and planning on that has brought this more to the focus for my family. They told me they feel we should take their thoughts on board, and my dad said I should consider not letting my baby's name stand out among theirs the way mine did. My siblings wanted me to consider Jane and how she would feel if I copied my mom's style and stay far away from hers, when she has been raising me for years and hearing me bask in the joy of people knowing my mom named me. I reached the end of my rope and told them all that they don't get a say on my baby's name and that I don't want my child's name to blend in with theirs. That it doesn't matter the way they seem to think and the way they make it sound. It's like telling me I have to choose between them and my mom, or more accurately, Jane and my mom. They told me I was callously dismissing their feelings and what this means to them and what message I'm sending to others. They said I started it years ago by making it clear I wanted to name my kids like mom named me. Am I the asshole? Damn, that was a long story.
Oh my gosh. What does any of this have to do with you?
That's like, this sounds like a American Girl book or something.
Right? Oh
Like,
my gosh.
where are we in the 1800s or something where it's like we all have to sound the same? Like, what? It's cool to have a cool name.
Acacia
I want
Claire.
all of our kids to have cool names.
I know. Me
Doesn't
too.
mean that they have to be all unique, but they can all sound cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be naming my child James. Like, come on.
James is one of the worst names I can think of.
James is honestly,
What
I
are-
hate that name.
What are the siblings again?
They were, I don't know if they're their actual names, but they might be.
Maybe.
They said Elizabeth, James, Hannah, Michael.
I'm sorry. These are all.
I like Elizabeth.
They're all
I
pretty
do.
typical.
I do like Elizabeth, but
They're very common. Yeah.
and then Michael is I kind of like it, but not. I probably won't because it's just so much.
There's
The
too
only
many
thing that
Michaels,
Michael
though.
ran in my family,
Yeah, that's true.
but then my mom kind of broke it anyways
I know.
because she didn't name anyone
I know.
their first name Michael. It was only middle name.
How many generations was Michael in your family?
I don't know,
Just your
but
grandpa
I know that
and
my
your uncle?
pop-up and my uncle, but no, you're not the asshole.
Yeah. Why are they saying names? Why don't they appreciate you? Why
Why are
don't
they
they
so
like you?
mean about
Why is your
it?
husband? Why is your husband? Why is your dad immediately replacing his dead wife? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time, but
Yeah.
it's like if I was you, I would be doing the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, my mom named me. I'd
And
be
I feel
I would be
yeah.
like that.
I feel like your name
I
is
think that's
pretty.
sweet.
I think your name is pretty uncommon because of people your age don't really have it.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Um.
This is such an interesting name, and I've only met one person named this.
What, her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I like. Yeah, I like it.
I like that. I really want to know what her mom's name was, and I love it. It's
Yeah.
like a little legacy.
I know. I would definitely be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Your mom is dead.
That makes it
This
even
is-
worse.
Your connection to her. Of course, you're gonna name your children similar things. This just makes sense, and it's so
Yeah.
sweet. And who gives a fuck about your siblings? Who gives a fuck about your stepmother? Because even though your stepmother is the one who raised you, you're calling her Jane.
They're calling her Jane, and this is what it comes down to. They want you to go by a different name. They want you to not have your daughter named by the same floral naming scheme. They want to throw out your mom. Your dad wanted to throw out your mom right before she died. Even when she died, he wanted to throw her out in the trash.
And it's like he kind of met Jane quickly. It
Yeah,
seems.
it
so-
said that by the time she died, he had already met Jane.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
They want to throw out your mom. Don't let them throw out your mom. Okay?
Yeah, no, I would be doing the exact same thing as her. And then
This is so
if you
horrible.
love your if you're close to your stepmother,
Yeah,
and maybe you're just saying Jane for the story
yeah.
or whatever, middle name.
Jane is the perfect middle
You
name.
could middle name your child Jane.
Mary Jane.
And then, Yeah, Rosie Jane. Something Jane. I feel like Jane, yeah, that is probably a good middle name. Yeah. So, like,
Birchwood
either
Jane.
Pine Jane.
Citrus Jane.
Pine Jane.
Lemon Jane.
What's other trees or
Rose Jane.
Lily Jane.
Lily Jane is great.
Oh, Lily Jane's cute.
It's cute. Wait, no. You can't wait to take that. Yeah. Hold on to
I
that
don't.
one.
I don't know.
I always love the name
Um,
Lily, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely grown into it a little bit more. What other things are there?
Oak. Oak
Oak
Jane.
Oak Jane. Oakley.
Oakley. I hate that name,
Oakley
actually. It's
Jane.
a
Well,
sunglasses.
that's like a guy's name. Anyways, whatever. Someone said, I think the thing that rubs me the wrong way is that rather than pick names for the other kids that blended with their already existing child, they picked very different names and then made a big stink about how you were different, even going so far as to try to get you to change your name so that you'd fit in better.
It's horrible.
Now they're rubbing salt into the wound by trying to make sure the baby doesn't match you either. Well, you don't want the little one to be a left out weirdo like you, do you? But whose fault was that anyway?
I know.
A child who is different should be a celebration or a happy coincidence and not a thing they're, embarrassed about? Not the asshole. These people suck.
Yeah.
And an OP replied, yes, they picked names that they loved and had always wanted for their kids. The oldest of my sisters got the name my dad wanted me to have and pressed for me to have when I was born. He got to use it anyway and is still so bitter about it. And the thing is, I never really would have thought about it if they hadn't brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
You are so weird.
I would not care. I would be like, I'm unique. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Someone said, sounds like the dad from OP's comments had always wanted a different name and was steamrolled into the nature name. OP replied, and he would have gladly steamrolled my mom into the name he wanted. In the end, each picked a name for me. Maybe not the best way to compromise, but either way, one would have been left unhappy with my first name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
I feel like when it comes to names, it's definitely like more like I feel like the mother's like, like she gets to decide. But like you still
You
like,
would say that, wouldn't you?
you still both discuss like if you absolutely fucking hated a name that I liked,
Mm-hmm.
then it's probably not happening. And if I
Yeah.
absolutely hate a name that you like, it's
Yeah.
not happening.
I feel like there's so many things in a relationship that you need trust, communication, and compromise in. And this should not be different. You should already have that skill when you get to having a baby.
Yeah, definitely.
It shouldn't be,
And also,
this is the first thing we have to decide on together and we fuck it up.
No, yeah, no. But also, if you hated a name that I, like, it would have to be, like, something that I loved forever. But, like, even, like, opinions on these things can change.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you absolutely hated a name that I liked, I would probably not like it anymore because you hated it. Like,
Or, yeah,
you know?
right. It would,
Like, I
it
would
would
start
change
to
it.
not like it
I
as
mean,
much
that did
because
happen with
you-
one of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you had a preconceived notion about a name, like you knew somebody who had that name that you didn't like,
Yeah, I feel like that's, like,
that would
usually
suck.
what it is.
But then if I was like
Even if it's a
convincing
huge
you,
name, it's like, you don't
Yeah.
have that.
if I was convincing you like, oh, this doesn't have to be because of that person, you change your mind. It's just like a conversation.
It's
just a
also like
conversation.
the older you get, like I don't like the name Lily because of like a
Yeah.
person I kind of knew, but like now it's like that is so far back in my memory
Yeah.
that it's like, and I haven't like had a new person to room in there or anything,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like now it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, I kind of like it a bit more, but like, and especially like, oh, I like the flowers, like they smell very nice, you know,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, yeah, I like it a little bit more,
Yeah,
but I'm still not at that level yet.
You get a fresh
You
perspective.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so my phone died, and now it's the next day, so we're finishing off this podcast. We know where we kind of were at. We were talking about the name Lily and how I kind of liked it.
Also, when they're trying to get rid of this name scheme, which it was like plants and nature, that it feels like they're trying to get rid of her biological mom.
Yeah.
So that's just where I'm at, and so I think definitely not the asshole,
Yes.
and she needs to get a new family.
Yeah, this was definitely not the asshole. But it would be sweet if you like. I was saying like if you're close to your stepmother, then you should
Yeah.
try to incorporate her name somehow because she like, like that would just be nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the last story that we didn't get to go to.
Sounds
yesterday. Am I the asshole for sending my sister in the hospital on purpose? Before starting, this is a throwaway because my sister follows my main. English is not my first language, so I make small grammar mistakes. To start off, I, 20 female, want to say my sister, 34, is extremely allergic to shrimp. If the shrimp has touched anything and then my sister touches it, she gets an allergic episode on her skin being red and itchy, but it stops after a while. One more thing, my sister and mom, 60, don't understand the concept of privacy / asking for permission, so they eat most of the times each other's or my stuff. Yes, I live with my family while I try and save up to move out in the future. Save it. I don't want to hear comments calling me a loser or move out already. Now for the story. The other day I had made pasta with shrimp, specifically for one plate for me since I know no one eats it. I ate all the shrimp included and I left some leftover pasta on the counter table, but I cover it up on the top with another plate and hope I find it later to eat it. I don't think much of it and went about my day. I left house for my French lessons. That day, my sister had told me she wouldn't come home because she was spending the day with her friend, so I didn't tell anyone about it. When I came back, I was welcomed with lots of swearing / curses by my mom because my sister ate the pasta and her episode started, so she had rushed her to the hospital. After a lot of fighting, she calmed down and said it's my fault. Thank God my sister is fine. I just don't understand how this is my fault because I have asked some of my friends and they tell me I fucked up for real. Am I the asshole for sending my sister to the hospital? A small edit because I saw comments. That day I was making the pasta. My sister had said she wouldn't come home and she was spending the day with her dad. Okay. Now it's not a friend. And 2, as someone mentioned, when someone is allergic, they look out for stuff they eat. The pasta was smelling extremely like bad shrimp smell. I would never want to hurt my sister, so relax. It was an accident. One last edit to save everyone because y'all are being crazy, but I accept what you say. My sister wasn't home that day at all. My mom saw me cooking and didn't care. In my country, it's very cold and it really wouldn't harm the food. Plus, I was outside for 1 hour, so no, it wouldn't harm the food or me. I love shrimp, that's why I ate all the shrimp and left only some pasta for later. I left it on the counter table. It smelled like shrimp. She didn't need to move it or touch it. It wasn't getting in the way of anyone. I write in caps because people read half of everything I wrote. Thanks.
I feel bad for this girl. I listened to the whole thing, and you're definitely not the asshole.
I was like, why did you just leave it on the counter? That's not food safe, but
Apparently it's cold. I like how she already knew the answer when she wrote this.
She's definitely not the asshole.
So it's just kind of crazy because, like, isn't this pretty clear sign that the problem is that your family's eating your food, not the problem that you eating food that they're not allowed to have?
Yeah, like, as long as it's not like she is allergic by smell of it, like, you're definitely not the asshole.
Yeah.
Like, she has to, like, eat something that either touch shrimp or is shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're not the asshole. You would think that she would, like, smell it or be like, oh, who made it? Especially if she knows that you eat
Yeah.
shrimp. Like, she knows that you love shrimp, if she knows that you sometimes you cook shrimp for yourself, like, she should definitely be like, oh, who made this? Oh, it's her. Okay, I'm probably not gonna eat it just in case.
Yeah. How
Like,
about don't eat it in case anyway?
I know. I agree. I hate when people eat each other's food. It pisses me off.
My
Oh my gosh. When I
Yeah.
grew up and I had leftovers and I was thinking, dang, tomorrow I'm going to eat those leftovers. It's the whole point. I saved half of my food from that restaurant because I want some leftovers. And then someone else ate them. That's fucked up. You should not be touching people's food.
No. You don't know if it's allergic, number one. You don't know if they wanted it. There's a legendary argument in my family. I wasn't even born yet. But my oldest sister got up in the morning, poured herself a bowl of cereal, filled all the milk in, went to grab a spoon, and my oldest brother took it and started eating it. In that short amount of time. It's a legendary fight, apparently. And they still talk about
Are you
it.
kidding
They still
me?
talk about it to this day.
That is so messed up. That would piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
I find it so funny, though.
Why did he do that? What was his argument?
I think he thought she was being nice for him.
She didn't grab 2 bowls.
I
The
don't know.
fuck?
I don't know.
Did he ask
No.
for her to make it for her?
No. No.
Whatever?
No. No.
No.
And that's so silly.
Yeah, it was always like if someone's food was missing, then we would all blame on the middle child in my family. But I think it usually was him. And then he claimed that he was sleep eating. Like he would get up and sleepwalk
Is
and
that
eat.
a thing?
I don't think so. Honestly, no, I don't believe in that. It's probably he's up till 3 a.m. in the morning and he's hungry and he don't want to make anything and he just eats somebody else's food.
I get that, though.
No!
But I will make stuff.
Also, you eat other people's food. I don't want to hear it.
I will make, though. I'm not lazy.
You
I also
will
won't
eat
blame it
other
on
people's
sleep
food. You'll
eating.
eat the last thing.
I usually don't. But sometimes I do.
You'll, like, when we were living with your parents, you'll, like, start eating their stuff. And I'm like, how do you know that you're allowed to have that? And he's like, ooh.
Well, if I had an allergy, I would not fucking do that. So.
Yeah. But you shouldn't do it anyways.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that
Obviously, the OP is mad that this was a thing in their house anyways.
Yeah.
Like, she's annoyed that people just eat each other's things.
she shouldn't be in trouble.
I feel like unless, obviously, like, there's different things. Like, let's say you have dinner, and your mom made dinner, and there's a bunch of chicken, a bunch of this, a bunch of that, and then there's some leftover of that. And there's a lot, and, like, there's, like, multiple leftover chicken, you take a little bit, and that's fine, because it was for everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If there's only one piece of whatever, then you ask, oh, can I have it? Even though it was made for everybody. Then, if just your sibling, or let's say your mom made herself lunch and there was a little extra, you ask, can I have it? Or your sibling or anybody else. If it's leftover from a restaurant,
Ooh,
I would.
Yeah. No. I don't do that. I don't mess around with that.
And like Wawa, like the amount of times that my leftover Wawa was eaten, depressing.
Just surprising because your leftover Wawa always looks gross.
It is gross.
But still.
It's gross to have leftover Wawa because the bread gets soggy. That's why I don't do the vinegar and oil and stuff.
Oh, well, I guess you usually box it, so.
Yeah, you're not the asshole here. People should not be eating other people's food. If you didn't make it, then don't fucking touch it without asking.
Simple.
And then, especially
Yeah, if you're going to die from it.
especially if you're allergic to
Oh
something,
my gosh.
and especially if it was from a restaurant. But
Yeah.
she made pasta. You don't know what was in that pasta. You could probably smell the shrimp. especially if you're allergic to it.
Yeah.
Your nose probably detects that shit way faster than a normal person.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask.
It
So
probably smells
it's not
mad
your
good,
fault.
and you can't have it. So you probably feel
The
that.
only thing that OP could have done is either put it away, because then nobody would have seen it as fast. You would think if you want to save it, you would probably put it away and sneak and like write your name all over
Yeah.
it. That's what I did when I was a kid. Or when I was living with my family, I would write my name on all of the things that were mine. Like,
And you did that when we were living with my family too, and my family would literally go, "Oh, you can have some of my food, and I'm not gonna write my name on it." Like passive aggressive, so annoying.
no, man, I'm not rich enough to be doing all that.
I know.
The only thing that OP could have done is put it away and put her name on it, / put on it and say, like, allergy shrimp.
Yeah.
You know? But,
Yeah.
yeah. Someone said, not the asshole. At 34 years old, it's her responsibility alone to ensure anything she eats is safe. And
Wow,
what the fuck? Can she not smell the shrimp odor left behind in the pasta?
She's 34.
The sister is. OP is 20 and her sister is 34.
This is so immature.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Someone said, not the asshole. Sorry, but your sis and mom are idiots for just letting her eat food that she hasn't cooked herself or asked about. Every kid who has an allergy is taught to always ask what is in the food and check labels. Every parent teaches their kids to never just eat something without checking. No, you're not the asshole. This is 100% on your sister just eating some random food and not checking first. With 3 people in the house who cook different foods, you should never be eating someone else's food. If I were you, I'd move out. But until then, I'd push back against this.
Yeah.
And then someone said, everyone sucks here. You know your family eats each other's dishes. You know your sister is extremely allergic. It would have been no work to leave a note on the plate saying, has shrimp. On the other hand, your mom is too quick to blame you as the sole reason for your sister's hospitalization.
Yeah, this is not everyone sucks here. Sorry, it's just not.
I will say, I definitely kind of get that. Like, I feel like even though, like, okay, people in my family would sometimes eat each other's food, but it was always like, you're the bad person for eating that person's food, right? So, but even then, like, if someone had an allergy, like, if I was, like, made something with peanuts, I would label it has peanuts, even if I'm like, I should be the only one eating this.
She also
Just
thought
in
she
case,
wasn't gonna be
especially
home.
since sometimes smelling it or touching it could cause an allergic reaction.
Yeah. Also, she wasn't home.
Her mom did see her cooking it, so
Mom just doesn't want to blame herself.
yeah. Someone said like she could have had an allergic reaction just from moving the plate, and I'm like, if that's true, like I agree, like she should have left a note, but I don't know if her allergic.
She ate it.
No, I'm saying that I don't know if her allergy is that severe where just smelling it or touching it would cause an allergic reaction. Not every allergy is like that.
I don't think so. She covered it.
But, I mean, I would have maybe have done that. Like, I myself probably would have done that. Or I would have put it in the fridge where it's, like, less likely to probably be eaten. But, like, at the same time, I feel like also it being left out, I don't know. It totally depends on how your family does things. Like,
I know.
if your family, like, when someone makes dinner, they'll, like, make a plate and then, like, leave it because they know the person's going to come home soon. Like, if your family's kind of like that, well, they'll, like, save a plate for somebody. Then it's like, she could have thought that it was for her. You know? But if your family is more like everybody cooks for themselves or whatever. But, like, she could have thought that your mom made dinner and then she saved the plate for her. If your family had, like does that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it totally depends on the dynamic there. So, you're maybe the asshole.
I still say no.
I would say, like, if her mom was there when she ate it, then she could have been like, oh, did you make this? And she'd be like, no, your sister did. And she eats it anyways. And it's like, there's a few different options here, I will say. But I mostly say you're not the asshole.
I agree.
Well, that's it for today. If you like this video, then please like the video and subscribe and share and check out our TikTok, Love Life Support, and we will catch you next time.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.